So I wonder why pretty much nobody is talking about ghost MGTOWs. From what I can gather and perceive, ghost MGTOW should mean someone who, someone in particular, a man who has completely withdrawn from the mainstream society, from the vast majority of human population. I suppose we should be doing the same. Though for those who are currently residing in a metropolitan region, that doesn't sound quite doable. Still, there are a couple of ways, for us, for you and me to become a ghost MGTOW, a ghost MGTOW, in British accent. Probably, like I mentioned before in some of my previous videos about how to remain um, fairly anonymous online, such as by acquiring a SIM card that requires no real name registration, and you use such number associated with such SIM card to register for a variety of services. Also, products on the web, such as YouTube, Facebook, and and so on and so forth. Um, Method number two, I have been, you know, of which um, I have been practicing for quite a couple of years, which is to remain a hikikomori for as long as you can. And though I can't say I chose such lifestyle voluntarily or on my own volition, I kind of have to live such life at the moment, so long as I perceive that nothing, you know, in the status quo in China has changed. Um, since nowadays, this country has become an absolute or authoritarian regime, close to North, quite infinitely close to North Korea, unfortunately. So in order to remain anonymous, I have to take, I know it sounds quite repetitive and cliche, but you know, in order to remain anonymous, in order to become a ghost MGTOW, you have to make a lot of sacrifices, and that can also mean that you have to cut ties. Um, you have to cut ties from a lot of people, either voluntarily or involuntarily. I for example, sometimes you just get lazy and you don't you failed to get in touch with some so-called friends or acquaintances of yours for a prolonged period of time, and over time you begin to lose touch with such person, and you no longer share anything in common with such person, and therefore the bonds between you and such person weakens, and you no longer share some common interest, um, common grounds, and that can be especially true. If such a friend or business partner or acquaintances of yours is already married, then that can make the matter even worse, since he or she has to look after you know the family, and he or she has he has to prioritize um, um, you know um, you know sorting out his family affairs first, instead of um, instead of keeping in touch with you. And um, sadly, it's quite it's such such phenomenon is not uncommon in nowadays world. So sadly, as a grown man, you have to know how to cope with that, how to get used to it. um, since I have been I have been coping with such issue of losing friends, of losing touch with friends, if not losing contacts with them, um, entirely. For quite a couple of years. Not sure if I should take pride in in the fact that I currently don't actually have friends worth mentioning. But I suppose in order to become a ghost MGTOW, or a MGTOW who's reached the level of you know a ghost a ghost. You have to you have to you must you know have the experience coping with loneliness and solitude for a prolonged period of time, and that can such prolonged period of time can last years, even you know decades. I I in but in fact, most people around me, my cousins, my a cousin of mine whom I love like a brother born from another mother. And my aunts and uncles, they are quite they tend to socialize quite a lot. So probably that's also why I had been living with my grandma for such a long period of time. Even till the present, since my grandma and I do happen to share a lot of common grounds and attributes, though since yes, my grandma, she is quite shy. Uh, um, but not you know so shy in a sense that she voluntarily um, isolates herself from the general populace, but instead due to her injuries, she has to since um, since the since the incident that occurred um, almost almost 2 years ago, she her her mobility got severely compromised, and she has to remain indoors, for quite some time. That contributed to to the fact that she kind of has to has to rest and recover from her injuries. But I try to I try to put I try to persuade her to get some more rehabilitative therapies, in order to accelerate her recovery. But she just keeps saying no. um so yeah, but yeah, but other than that, I don't suppose she has anything to do with my choice to remain, to want to become a ghost MGTOW. um you know well excuse me. Nevertheless, yeah, after um having seen so much misery and distraction and you know lots of nasty shite, I conclude that you know I conclude that remaining self-sufficient without having to 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 get in touch with other human individuals, serves me the best, at least so far. um, well, at least in a country where the interweb is heavily censored, and communications in particular, civilian communications are heavily censored and monitored. It's for the best that I abstain from bonding or communicating with strangers, with with other human individuals, both online and in the tangible slash physical part of the matrix, the Chinese part of the matrix. Just for my own protection, well, yes, I do have thoughts. Yes, suicidal thoughts still haunt me to this day. Though I don't want to die a death, where I got persecuted by my fellow um, by my fellow um, kinsmen. You know, that's just horrible, and um, it's it's kind of um, you know it's such death, such kind of death, you know alters my identity, alters my self identity, my rights to self determinate, my rights to self determine. um so I would rather choose a death that's more dignified, more 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 voluntary, more um more um more free, more you know customizable, than that. If you follow, yeah. So um yeah, I don't suppose I have anything else to say in this streaming session, but I just kind of have some thoughts about becoming ghost MGTOW. You know, but I don't suppose I have met any ghost MGTOW in real life yet. Though I have heard of that, I have seen an image on the web, detailing various levels of metal you can achieve. Somewhere probably from Reddit or or just from Google, or somewhere, or maybe somewhere in somewhere on Discord, but um I don't recall where last time I saw it, or first time I saw that image specifically. So yeah, there's there's nothing much for me to say in this filming session, other than ghost MGTOW. Probably, yeah, for ghost, if you get ghosted by someone, or in particular a woman, then why not reciprocate? Why not do the same to her? Since why should you waste time on females? After you have wasted so much time fapping and um, lasting after images and videos of female human individuals you gathered online and stored in your computer. um, I well At least so I believe I have wasted way too much time, you know, on on diverting my attention, you know, to women, um, women, so in conclusion, long story short, women are such a time waster, are such a provocation, or a stimulant, such a temptation for men to commit sins, to commit crimes. There are way too many crimes that are most primarily driven by women. Either by the lust after women, or the temptation, the seduction from women, or both. Um, you know, yeah, but yeah, in any regards, yeah, maybe, yeah, consider what I say, and yeah, I look forward to to hearing back from you in the comment section, in the comment section of this video. So thanks a lot for watching and listening to this. Cheers, stay safe, and keep yourself hydrated. If God willing, either see you in the next video or see you in heaven. Cheers.